We begin tonight with the top kill. It started at 1 p.m. local time today, an effort essentially to cram a whole bunch of gunk into the gushing Deepwater Horizon oil well on the seafloor of the Gulf of Mexico in the hope that the well can be clogged shut. They are pumping heavy drilling mud from a ship over to a service rig. The service rig then pumps this heavy drilling mud in a pipe down to the seafloor. It then goes through other hoses and pipes in a manifold that's down there on the seafloor, and then it goes into the blowout preventer. The blowout preventer is sitting on top of the wellhead. Ideally, they will then be trying to get the mud to flow through the blowout preventer and down into the well, which, remember, has been gushing oil at a very fast rate. The key is to pump the mud with enough pressure that it can cram down that oil that's gushing out of the well, but not so much pressure that it busts open any of the pipes or hoses it's going through, or that it busts open the blowout preventer, or that it busts open the drill hole from which the oil is gushing out. If it works, that hydrostatic head of fluid mud, essentially a column of liquid, will force the flow of oil down beneath where it is leaking from and reseal the well. Coming out of the blowout preventer, coming out of there at that point, if it was working, we would see no longer oil, just the mud that they're pumping down there. If that works, they can seal the well. They would get in there and put a concrete plug on it and seal it permanently. If it works. This is the late-breaking news that we've had tonight. The chief operating officer at BP, Doug Suttles, has just said tonight that it appears that it is drilling mud and not oil that is gushing right now from the ruptured undersea well. They said that he said that 6 hours into the effort to halt the spill using this top kill procedure. The exact quote from Mr. Suttles at a news conference tonight was, "What you've been observing coming out of the top of that riser is most likely mud." He said, "We can't fully confirm that because we can't sample it, and the way we know we've been successful is it stops flowing." Again, this is hopeful-sounding news from BP's chief operating officer, not confirmed. What he's saying they think is happening is that the top kill essentially is going the way they want it to, with drilling mud and not oil now being seen gushing out of that wellhead on the seabed. Joining us now is NBC's chief environmental affairs correspondent, Ann Thompson. Ann, thanks very much for joining us again tonight. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too, Rachel.
What is the status of the top kill right now? I know it started about 1 p.m. We've heard some hopeful sounding news from BP's chief operating officer, Doug Suttles just tonight. What's your understanding of the situation right now?
Well, I think BP is fairly pleased, obviously pleased that it is going according to schedule, but BP is by no means declaring victory at this point. The next 24 hours are crucial. They will continue to pump those thousands of gallons of drilling mud into the well to try and push back the oil as you described it. But then after they complete doing that, then they have to take pressure readings to see if it is working, because that will help tell them what is happening down there. And then if they get the readings they're looking for, then they will force cement into the well to seal it. It is a very high stakes maneuver. It has never been done at 5,000 feet below sea level. They obviously are seeing some hopeful signs tonight, but as I said, no one is saying, whoo, it's over yet, and not by a long shot.
If the effort fails, is there a risk that it could actually make the leak worse?
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why they spent so much time doing diagnostic tests in the last 24 hours before they started doing the top kill procedure, because you have to get that pressure exactly right. You have to get that mud going in fast enough so that it overcomes the oil and pushes it back down, but not so fast that it blows the casing apart or blows the blowout preventer apart. I mean, one of the reasons why it's taken so long is that BP had to rebuild lines in the blowout preventer so that it could take the mud through those choke and kill lines and then down into the well. So it has been a very complex procedure. And yes, there is always a risk that a new hole could blow at any time. So they have to keep a very close eye on the pressure as they try to accomplish this goal.
But we're also hearing that some of the things they tried or were going to try before, namely the supposed junk shot and another containment dome, these are techniques that they may try again either in conjunction with this top kill effort or after the top kill effort if the top kill effort isn't successful. Is that how you understand the planning, that these other things are sort of still there as plan G and H at this point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, I think we're beyond that. I've lost the alphabetical count at this point. But here's the order in which they would go. At least this is my understanding. The junk shot that's where they would throw golf balls and shredded tires and knotted up rope into the blowout preventer to try to clog it. That is one option. But the next thing that they're going to try is what's called the lower marine riser package. And essentially what they would do is cut off a piece of the riser at the top of the blowout preventer and put a small containment dome over that. And again, that would help take oil up to the surface to a tanker vessel up above, the way I understand it. So that is the next thing that's up for a try if this doesn't work. But they are also working on several other things, including taking another blowout preventer, and a blowout preventer is that 450-ton device that didn't work when the accident happened, and putting a new blowout preventer on top of the old blowout preventer and seeing if they could somehow stop the leak that way. So they've got a couple of other ideas. But again, it's still the only thing they're really sure about is the relief well, and they are continuing to drill a relief well even as they try the top kill technique. The problem with the relief well is, best case scenario, it would be completed in early August. So, they are hoping that sometime between now and then they can find the magic formula to stop this well from gushing.
NBC's Chief Environmental Affairs Correspondent Ann Thompson, as always, just invaluable expository work here for us. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Take care, Rachel.